I know that I appreciate videos that get straight to the point, so that's what I'm going to do. I get asked all the time, what flash should I buy? And these are people that shoot weddings and portraits and everything professionally, but there are so many different options, and flashes or strobes or speed lights, whatever you call them, they can be so confusing. So, simple answer, these. These are called Yongnuo, or pronounced something different. Somebody corrected me once, but I forget what they said. So I'm going to call them Yongnuo, and they are the YN 560s, and then they're version 4s. So they have the blue Roman numerals, and that's the easiest way to tell, is the Roman numerals are blue. But the Yongnuo flashes are incredible. About 6 years ago, I bought some of these Nikon SB700s, and over the course of a year and a half, I broke 2 out of 3 of these flashes. This one is kind of glued back together and it still doesn't work right. But these flashes were over $300 and they worked okay, but they broke. Every time I dropped it or a light stand fell, they broke. These things, I have 12 of them. I've never broke one of them. They're built like a tank and they're super cheap. You can buy one of these for $70 where these cost over $300. Also, these promised wireless shooting, so it was saying I could trigger off-camera flashes from this, which is kind of true, but the older Nikon flashes, they used optical triggering, which meant it had to be line of sight. This flash had to be able to physically see the flash on my camera. So if someone stepped in between us, or it was a far distance, then this wouldn't work. And that was super annoying. So after researching, I decided to buy these flashes because they had radio triggering and they were super cheap. And I've been so impressed with these. So these flashes, they can transmit or receive. And I'm going to show you how to change the settings on these, but I put one of these on my camera as the transmitter, and then I can set up however many more to receive. So I can put one in each corner of the dance floor and I can control them all separately, all at different power levels, or I can control these two and these two, or I can control them all as one giant group or channel. So I normally keep them all on one channel so that I can fire them all and change the power super simply without cycling through different groups. But that gives you the option to do that. So Yongnuo flashes, the 560 version 4, they work with Nikon, Canon, and other brands, and you don't have to change the flash. This flash right here, it only has one contact. That's the easiest way to tell. If it only has one little thing on the bottom, it will work with Nikon, Canon, and a bunch of other brands. But if the flash has a bunch of contacts, like this one, it'll only work with that specific brand. The advantage to all of the contacts are that it communicates with the camera and it will tell the flash how bright to flash. But I always shoot on manual flash anyway, so this doesn't offer me a benefit. Having all of these contacts so that the flash talks to the camera, it costs more. So you're gonna have to pay more for the flash for a feature that you don't even use. So I use the manual flashes, so if I'm shooting with a Canon shooter, I can give this flash to the Canon shooter and they can use it just like I am. It's super simple. You don't have to worry about getting the right one. They're all the same. I'll put a link in the description. But these flashes are incredible. I have 12. I use them every wedding. They don't break when I drop them. And if they do, they're super cheap. Nikon, their older flashes are optical and they're more expensive. They do have new flashes and Canon has the same flashes. So Nikon does now have a radio trigger flash and so does Canon. But Nikon's is almost $600 for a radio trigger flash. These are $70. Nikon's is over $600. So the choice is obvious there. The benefit to the $600 flash is that it can talk to your camera and it will actually zoom in as your lens zooms and things like that. But those are features that I never use. So these just make so much more sense for me. So I'm going to show you how to use these. If you just wanted to know what one to buy and you don't want to watch the how-to, then you can turn this off. If you want to know how to use them, keep watching. I appreciate you guys. Comment below. I'll try and respond to everything. If you want me to cover anything, let me know. I'm happy to do so. Appreciate it. See you later. So here are three of my favorite flashes, the Yongnuo, or however you say it, YN560 version 4 with the blue letters. I'm going to turn them all on. And it's cool because you can actually hear the mirror and lens thing in here moving up and down. And it controls how zoomed in or narrow or wide your light is. And you can change that manually by pressing zoom. But anyways, I'm going to show you how to set these up the way we do real quick. First, if you press this button, it turns the light on so you can see in a dark reception, which is super useful. So I'm going to show you what these buttons do. We know that zoom zooms the flash in and out, narrow, wider. It makes your light more focused. The button beside it, the wireless button, that changes your mode up here. This is now set on receive or RX, which means it is set to receive the signals from the other flashes. So that's RX. S1 and S2, those are called different slave modes, which means your flash will flash when it sees another flash. But the problem with this is that first it has to be line of sight. It has to be able to physically see the other flash right in here somewhere. There's an optical sensor. And any flash, including guest flashes, will make your flash fire. And also you have to change the power manually on the back. So S1 and S2 are pretty useless. S1, S2, never ever use those. I've never used them. M, this is for manual flash if it's on your camera. So if this is the only flash you're using, you're not doing any wireless flashes or anything, put it on M and you can just change the power with these buttons here. Put it on M, it's super simple, 1/128. You can fire it, you can change the power, do whatever you want. So that's M. The TX is transmit. So this is going to be the transmitting flash, and RX is receive. So I'm going to set this to transmit right here, TX, and I'm going to put these on receive, which is, I'm going to take this off. Receive, transmit, and receive. So group A is off. There are channels and there are groups. The top CH is channel. I never change that. That is if you are going to be in a room with multiple people with these flashes, you can actually change the channel, which I've never had to do before. So I leave that at channel 1. I am going to press this button and now groups is flashing. So on the receiving flash, if you press the center button, groups will flash. And you can go A, A1, A2, A3. The A1, 2, and 3, those are for if you are shooting in a room with other people as well. So I never worry about that. I just use A, B, and C. You can see it changing, cycling through the different letters. So I'm going to put this on group A. So channel 1, always channel 1 in group A. And you can see you can cycle through the letters here by pressing down. If you press over, it goes 1, 2, and 3, which you don't really need to do. I mean, you could if you wanted to use all your flashes on channel A and A1, A2, A3, whatever you want really. So this is group A. Boom. So I am receiving on group A. This one is receiving on group B. This is transmitting, and group A is off. 2 lines means off. Press this, B, off. C, off. And then these 2 lines, if the 2 lines are down here, that means you're talking about this flash, this physical flash. Those 2 lines is this flash, and it's off as well. So everything is off. So this doesn't do anything. These flashes see that this one is saying something, but it's saying don't fire. So pressing this button, pilot, that's basically like a test flash. So it's the same thing as firing your shutter on your camera. So let's change group A. Well, actually, let's go to the 2 lines. Right there. Let's change this by pressing mode to 1/128. So now this flash will fire. I normally leave this off because I don't want it to fire, because I want my lights to be consistent no matter where I'm at, and I don't want this light to be moving around the dance floor. So I just turn this off, mode off. Let's go to channel A, mode on. So channel A, let's fire at 1/64th of a power. So now channel A is firing. Let's go to, group A. Sorry, I say channel, but I mean group. So group A is firing. Let's go to group B. Group B. Now, group B, there's C. A, 1/64th, B, 1/32nd. So they are firing as well. It might be hard to see on camera, but I promise they are firing. And you can see what they're doing. So group B is 1/32nd. Group A is 1/64th. I can change it. But I like to keep them all on the same group so that I can quickly change everything. So now I change this to group A. Now they're all the same. So these two are firing. This one is not because the 2 lines right there, group 2 lines, is off. Group A, and I can change the zoom for all of the flashes. So this is transmitting TX, these are receiving. You can change the group of the receiver by pressing this button and cycling through here. You change the group of the transmitter by pressing the center button as well. That's pretty much all I use these flashes for. There's a bunch of different options there. You have to read the manual at least one time because there's a way to turn the beep off. When you pull these out of the box, they will beep every time they're ready to flash. Because if you fire on full power, then it takes a while before your flash is ready to fire again. So that's why I try and keep my flashes on like 1/8, 1/16, 1/32. That way they're always firing. Every time I press fire, they fire. If I put it on full power, it'll take a while. See, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. It just takes longer when your flash is on full power. So your flash will actually beep at you when it's ready to fire again, which is incredibly annoying. So figure out how to turn that off by reading the manual. But the manual is pretty difficult to read. So that's why I'm showing you how to do all this now. So these are my favorite flashes ever. You should go buy them.